Thanks so much for clicking on this. The Diablo IV release trailer that debuted during the Game Awards has everyone very excited, but the more we come over the pre-order bonuses and the different versions that you can pre-order has many people debating that this is pay to win because not every version of the game gets the 4 days of early access. I want to walk through what each edition costs and make my argument about why I don't think this is pay to win. I put my argumentation and breakdown right at the beginning of the video so you don't have to go searching for it, but then I discuss it with the live audience. I'm going to end the members segment every Monday. We do a Mean Comment Monday segment, and if you want to catch those, you got to be a member. Click the join button. $5 a month gets you into all of the members' streams. And if you watch my streams a lot, you might get a gifted member. We're already close to that 25 goal where I have to give 5 for those that are in the live audience. So let me break this down for you. Okay, first and foremost, I want to react to the Diablo IV release date trailer because I think this proves that Blizzard is still at the top of the cinematic game in the video gaming world. It's just absolutely stunning. There is so much depth and seriousness to it. It's somber. It's also incredibly dark, scary. Those that wanted to see the return to the dark roots of Diablo, I think will be very pleased. I think this trailer makes it very, very clear. They have no hesitancy to make it just crystal clear. You're going to hell and you're going to be fighting dark forces and you are warriors of the light. And I think that is a very historic narrative that obviously has religious undertones, massive religious undertones. But even if you aren't a religious person, you can get excited about being a warrior of the light and fighting the darkness. And the trailer really, really brings that just home. I think it looks phenomenal. I think it echoes back to scenes from Diablo 3 that were very meaningful, but it also really, really raises the level of cinematic strength that we have come to see from Blizzard titles. Now, we do know, according to this release date trailer, that the release date is June 6th of 2023, and there are 3 editions that you can pre-order, okay? And this is where the debates are sort of coming from. The standard edition is $69.99, the deluxe is $89.99, and the ultimate's $99. So $70, $90, $100, all right? And the $70 version does not get the 4 days of early access to the game, but all 3 versions get access to the beta, which I think is a really, really great testimony to they're very confident in this game's quality. They're going to let you pre-order the game and then try it out, basically, in the beta. That means the beta will likely be a very strong showing because if you don't like it, you can cancel your pre-order. So many people, I think, have criticized that we shouldn't be having to pay to get access to betas. We shouldn't be having to pre-order. I fundamentally disagree with that idea. I think rewarding pre-order customers with something of substance is better than pre-ordering for chintzy cosmetics that you know you're going to use for 2 hours and then throw into the garbage. I actually think offering a pre-order customer, somebody who's that committed, giving them the ability to test the game in a beta before fully committing, I think is a very, very substantive offer. I think that's a good offer to give them. And then right here it says pre-order now to get open beta early access. You get that early access. This is where the debate is coming from, though. Some are calling it pay to win. You must order the deluxe at $90 or the ultimate at $100 to get the 4 days of early access to the game. Now, personally, my personal take on this is I feel all 3 should get early access to the game. Give everybody the 4 days of early access. If you're going to get everybody access to the beta, then just give everybody the 4 days early access. But I also feel that the pay-to-win argument falls apart, and there's a variety of reasons that I feel that it falls apart. First, there's nothing to win by getting in early. Yes, there is PvP, but that's the end game, and it's very unlikely that that 4-day advantage is going to carry on throughout the entirety of the game to the point that when you finally do get to the end game and want to engage in PvP, you're going to be like, well, that's clearly somebody that got in 4 days early. By that point in time, the advantage has evaporated. That person has had to go back to normal life routines, that person has had to go back to work or school or whatever, and those early 4 days that they might have blitzed the game is no longer giving them some sort of benefit in perpetuity, right? So PvP is not something where you're going to also be grossly mismatched. Even if somebody gets to the end game before you and is, on paper stronger than you, it's unlikely that when you go to jump into PvP, you're going to be facing them. You're not aligned with them on the power threshold. Second, early access is not power, right? If you really look at the term pay to win and what it was born out of, it was born out of the idea of mainly sports games and card games before that, where you could buy things and pay for things in order to win. And then it made people very clearly feel that in order to win, in order to compete, I must pay. It creates a pay-to-win environment and culture. You don't feel as if you're going to be able to win without paying money. And calling early access pay to win, I just think muddies the waters. It's not power. Getting a head start ultimately fades with time, and it can't be purchased again. That's another thing that pay to win models typically have, is that you can keep purchasing the power. Every season, every new batch of cards that goes out, you can continue to purchase that power. It's a one-time thing right when the game comes out that does not last, and it can no longer be purchased as an advantage. Even the advantage itself is a little bit tenuous because not everybody's going to be able to play all day, every day, those 4 days. They may be able to play 1 or 2 of them, and you may be able to get on the launch date and take off time from work and go nuts for 72 hours, seemingly closing the gap almost immediately. Now, third, the race to max level is something that people bring up. They're like, oh, it's a race to 99. It's a race. We looked into this. Blizzard on its own site ranks players according to the time that it took, not who got there first, okay? Why is this important? Well, the idea being, if you want to be the fastest person to get to 99, it has nothing to do with getting into the game early. It has more to do with figuring out the fastest ways to level, and will likely be figured out later by very experienced players, by players that figure out exploits or cheats or whatever. It's not going to be something that the early players figure out. They're getting in early, obviously, but they're not figuring out the fastest way to level. It hasn't been optimized yet, okay? Why is this important? Why is it important for me to push back on this, and why am I consistently pushing back on the overuse of the term pay to win? Am I in favor of pay to win? No. Am I in favor of insidious and gross monetization practices? No. Quite the contrary. I'm very much against them, which is why I think having clear categories and clear definitions is vital to the future of gaming as well as these discussions, and it's just important to have clear communication. Pay to win is insidious where it shows up. It touches the entire game. It breeds a toxic culture of compulsory and predatory spending where people feel as if their sunk costs into the game is almost pitted against them, and the only way to truly compete is to spend that money. This is why I don't believe you can call pay to progress in games like Warframe or even a game like Lost Ark. I don't think you can call pay to progress pay to win, because pay to win models in games like Diablo Immortal or sports games, I think they're far worse. It's far more insidious and destructive and diluting to the gameplay experience. When categories get blurry, communication gets muddy. You have to have clear categories. Even within pay to progress, there are good and bad practices. Within pay to progress, I call it the art of the squeeze, where you can pay to skip grind and pay to progress, but there's no power, there's no PvP, but you can pay to sort of skip grind, okay? In that environment, the art of the squeeze is when they make it so unnatural, so difficult, so slow moving to progress that you feel as though once you've played the game 20 hours or more or whatever, now you almost feel like your commitment's being pitted against you, and now you need to spend money in order to sort of catch up with everybody. And I find that to be, I call it the art of the squeeze. So even within pay to progress, I believe there are good and bad practices. Even within cosmetic models or season pass models, there are good and bad practices. The overuse of FOMO, not being clear about the cost of things, making it really hard to earn cosmetics, so everybody feels like they have to buy cosmetics. Even within that realm, there are good and bad practices. Like, sometimes people use pay to win in a similar way. They say that live service games are bad. They will argue that all live service games are bad. Ew, gross. I don't want my favorite games to go live service. There are good and bad practices in live service games. So it's much better, instead of coming up with like a reduced category that we use for every game that does live service or every game that does monetization practices that we don't want, we can't just label everything pay to win or label everything, a bad live service game, because for all intents and purposes, Diablo 4 looks like it's going to be a very successful, beloved, and highly played and praised live service game with monetization practices that have been defended since moment one because of the comparisons to Diablo Immortal pay to win. Diablo 4 has largely said, almost exhaustively, we are not pay to win. So to argue on the game's eve of excitement between now and June, sort of a 6-month buildup, to argue that early access is pay to win, I think is just fundamentally confusing and wrong. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Smash the like if you enjoyed this video and you didn't get a chance to be here for the live discussion. If you're in the live environment, this is our second talk show of the day, and smashing like does help. Y'all that have been lurking and listening, I appreciate you carrying on with me into the second show of the day. What did you guys think? Is my show open strong? Is my argumentation sound? Where do you land on this? If you feel like getting us to the 25 member goal, jump in, start gifting members. When we hit 25, I have to gift 5. Thank everybody who does that. You may watch my streams on a regular basis, and you might catch that we are never running ads during the broadcast. And one of the reasons that we don't do that is because we find that to be too disruptive, which is why we do member goals instead. As long as you don't pay to get more power with weapons, I'm fine with it. I don't see Diablo 4 as pay to win. Great show opening. Thank you. Question, if they have these leaderboards again, is it pay to win? Let's see. First clear rewards. So we have first clear rewards. We have people clearing the Talva Silvertongue, Angrus Council, Blood Rose, and the Countess. Is that in Immortal? Are those like first clears on dungeons or something? So it is who could play first? Yeah. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I would say stuff like that I would not say is pay to win. But what I would say is the optics on that's kind of stupid. Just let everybody who pre-orders the game get in early. Just let them all get in early. So that there's no like, well, I mean, I would have been at the top of that leaderboard. I would have been one of the first persons to clear that dungeon or that activity or that whatever. But I didn't, because I didn't pre-order the $90 version. I pre-ordered the $70 version. The only ones who will care about a slight head start are going to the Ness, who intend to plow through it enough to pre-order anyway. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The beta's open. Everyone who pre-orders gets early beta access. Yeah, the early beta access for all pre-orders does really change my tune on this a little bit. It does. That shows a lot of confidence in the product. It really, really does. 250 people here. Since no one's catching the drift, I need you guys to spam Lono Dope emotes in the chat. I want to see a bunch of thumbs up in the chat. Show people one of our best emotes and remind them what they should be doing. For deluxe and ultimate editions, not standard. Yeah. Pre-order gets you early access to the full game. Only for the deluxe and ultimate editions, Robert. Yes. If you pre-order the $70 version, you do not get early access to the game. Everybody gets early access to the beta. There we go. Look at all those thumbs up in chat. You guys need to consider what that means. People who buy the top 2 editions get early game access. That's right. I tend to agree that if you're concerned about a leaderboard for clearing an activity first, then wouldn't you be pre-ordering a high-level edition? Now, somebody might push back and say, I really care about Diablo. I'm really excited about Diablo, but I've only set aside $70. I've got $70 in the budget. I've set it aside to pre-order this game and play at moment 1. And somebody who's spending more money than me gets to get in early and gets to rush that activity and claim that leaderboard. Right? I, again, would not call that pay to win. But I would say that's just bad optics. Why would you not let every person that pre-orders get in? Let your most committed players in as quickly as possible. Not your spendiest, consumers, but your most loyal. Right? Everybody pre-ordering that early on, man, they're jumping in the beta. That's a loyal consumer base. So I'm not going to call it pay to win, but I'm certainly going to say all this talk could be avoided. You know, all this talk could be avoided. If there are people who really value getting on those leaderboards and they really value being the first to clear something, but they don't have the money to buy the bigger editions, should that be withheld from them? You know, should they be 4 days behind? Pre-orders getting early access to an open beta is standard practice. How does that show confidence? No, it's not. No, it's not. Your open beta is not standard practice. And then drawing people's attention to it by being like, you can spend money on the game to get in the beta, that's not standard practice either. A lot of companies aren't doing betas, and a lot of people aren't doing betas and tying it to pre-order either. They're either doing it or they're not. And I don't think a lot of companies are doing betas. I don't have a huge issue, but I have no interest in the extra cosmetics of the higher edition, so I'm paying extra just to play early. Yes, it is. COD's been doing it forever. No, doing an open beta is not standard practice. It's not. It isn't. And tying it to pre-order is also not. Because do we need to define what open beta is? Open beta historically was not tied to pre-order. When someone did an open beta, that meant everybody got in. Now, closed beta being behind pre-order, sure. There were closed betas recently that you could pre-order the game and get into, and then eventually they opened up the beta to everybody. But an open beta, by definition, being behind a pre-order is not standard practice. That is simply not true. Open beta as a concept is not something that you traditionally had to pay for. Open beta equals play without paying anything. I agree, an open beta demo shows confidence. Right. You don't have to pre-order to do the beta. No, they're letting those people in early. Right? So early access into an open beta is also a newer concept. There's only a handful of games that have done this. First and foremost, it's not standard practice to do an open beta. Secondly, not everybody does early access to the beta if you pre-order. There have been some people that have done it for sure. But to act like it's standard practice when not every company even does it is a weird way to phrase it. It's like, how is it standard practice? COD's been doing that for forever, but that doesn't make it standard practice. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like open beta as a concept isn't even that common to a certain extent. A lot of companies just don't do it. They're just like, no, we're not doing a beta. It's a pretty standard thing. I don't see proof of that in the market. I don't. I've been covering games for 8 years, and I can count on two hands the amount of times I've jumped into a game before it releases to check out its open beta. There's not a lot of games that do it. There's always the question, is it going to be good? I don't know. How's it going to play? How's it going to feel? Now, it's rising in occurrence because live service is becoming more common. So you get to do it in a game like Call of Duty. You get to do it in a game like Diablo because they would like to get testing done. They want to make sure the servers are okay. Standard practice does not equal mandatory. I didn't say that it equaled mandatory. That's not what I'm arguing. Standard would mean that more than 50% of the games are having a beta. That's what I mean. Like, there are demos on Steam. That's not a beta. Having an open beta in a game is not that common right now. The really big games do it to stress test their servers, sure. But I don't think it's a standard practice. Elden Ring needed an open beta. It would have saved me $79 on PC. It probably wouldn't have saved you the money because the day one patch is what caused all the issues. I fundamentally fail to understand how it's pay to win if someone gets 4 extra days for deluxe. That has actually become more and more normal with games, and there is no upper hand that we've seen. The only thing that I'm seeing that I think is like a decent argument is the idea that there's first to clear rewards, or wait a minute. Yeah, there's first clear rewards. So the first person to clear something gets a reward in Diablo Immortal. Now, I don't know if we're going to see that in Diablo 4. We don't know, right? We don't know if that's going to be a thing. So, if it is, I wouldn't call that pay to win. But I would say it's perfectly understandable why consumers that care about these things are kind of annoyed. Man, I was really wanting to try to be the first person to beat, some of the dungeons or some of the end game or whatever, and I'm going to get there way later than everybody else. I'm going to be 4 days behind. And I think that that's a valid thing to be irritated about. I don't think it's valid to call it pay to win. I think we would have to see that if it's in 4. If it is, then yeah, you could give that room for the you could give room for the argument. 2042, paid to play a week early, unlocking better guns. I think it's stepping in pay to win because you're affecting other players. But it's not a permanent advantage, it's a temporary advantage. You're saying it's usually standard practice for live services to drop open betas? Because I would agree with that. I would say it's become standard practice, but when I'm looking at industry-wide, and consumers are like, oh, should I pre-order or should I not? Right? I think there's people that are looking at this and saying, what am I buying? I'm pre-ordering and I'm getting cosmetics, I'm getting some cool stuff. Okay. Oh, I'm also getting early access to the open beta. Okay, cool. Oh, I also get early access to the game. Oh, but I only get early access to the game if I order the deluxe or the ultimate or whatever. The 2 top ones. 4 days isn't going to make a difference after a month or even a couple of weeks. You won't be able to differentiate between who had early access and who didn't. It's not a huge gap to close. I agree with that. I think pay to win is getting into muddy waters. In general, I think pay to win has become a term that people just use when there's something that they don't like. They're like, well, oh, you can buy that, or oh, you can skip that. And it's like, okay, but that's just not what pay to win means. That's not the origin of the word. Even if you get into a game like that early and get better weapons to use in PvP, that benefit doesn't live on. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not like you can keep, it's not like you get to keep that benefit. Like, if you buy a card pack in a sports game and you make a really good team because you spent a ton of money, right? You keep that benefit until someone else spends money to match or get a better team than you. Does that make sense? If you grind to level 50 and I'm behind you, I haven't got to level 50 yet, and maybe you spent money to get some kind of an XP doubler or something, well, you don't get to keep that benefit. I get to close the gap on you. That's where pay to win is so insidious. I can't close the gap on you without spending money. I just want to pay, just pay if you want to get in early and start discussing all the cool features of the game. Yeah, I am arguing against the notion that it's pay to win. I'm not saying that it is. 4 days of early access won't make that much of a difference considering not everyone will play all those 4 days straight. Another good point. Exactly. Pay to win equals you don't have the option to progress unless you purchase an item. Everything else is in the player and person's options. Most people are buying Diablo to participate in a race, though. It isn't... they're not buying it to take part in a race. That's the thing. Everyone has access to all the same gear regardless of when you start playing. It's just $20. Move on, please. You can move on. This is my show, and this is what I wanted to talk about. So you can leave if you don't like the topic. Games that let you buy better gear or allow you to make better items than everyone else at a faster rate, and then makes the game largely unbalanced, even for people who have skill in the game, that is pay to win. Right, because essentially what pay to win does is it breeds a culture where you can't close the gap on Johnny Credit Card without also trying to buy things. Right? Like if I want to match this guy in strength, I must buy the great thing, the strong thing, the gold card pack, the whatever, right? All trading card games are pay to win. To a certain degree, yeah, I would think that the more you spend on a card game, the more you're going to have, the better off, the more equipped you are to win. I would think, like, if I'm not a Pokemon guy, but I would imagine if I drop $2,000 and I've got all these cards to come over, and you drop $100, I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm going to be way better than you, right? Like, I'm not saying it's automatically true, but generally speaking, you would think in a card game, the more money that you spend, the more you're going to get. I didn't set that camera angle quite right. It's supposed to be like, I think it's supposed to be like back there. Yeah. Yeah, and then it's supposed to be a little bit more angled. That's a little bit better. I moved it to make some Lego vids. You won't be able to buy power. Yeah, they had a pretty exhaustive blog. We covered that blog and all the answers that they provided, and we talked about how I don't have any concern or worry about this game going pay to win. It just doesn't even remotely seem to be like something that they're setting their sights on. They're setting their sights on making sure nothing in the game is pay to win. Like that's what it seems like to me, is they want to make sure nothing, right? I agree against the principle. It's just an over-discussed topic. Well, I thought it would be a good discussion to continue to be firm on the fact that, like, these things need to be, firmly established. And you want to know why? If a game crosses the line, we have a clear line of, like, this is what we believe pay to win is. Can I pay to win an argument with you? Yeah, hit that member goal, and then I'll tell you that you beat me in the argument. Every 25 members, I'll gift 5, and I'll pick one random person to be like, yep, man, that guy beat me in the argument. Whoever gives us the 25th member. Much like Magic, the more money you can spend on card and booster packs, essentially the better chances you have to win. Pay to win in a lot of ways is for lazy players. Yeah, but wouldn't you? How do you not be lazy in a game like that? With Magic, depending on the match type, the cost does have a ceiling at least. Like, there is only so many cards legal and standard. I'm sick of people contributing the argument that pay to win is good and beneficial. I agree with you that if you don't like it, move on. Pardon my language. I don't think anybody's saying that pay to win is good and beneficial. Nobody here is saying that. I'm not saying that. Does anybody here think pay to win is good and beneficial? I think what we're saying is that you need to properly label pay to win so we can criticize it and say this is wrong. And 4 days of early access is I just don't think that's in that category. Firm is good. I hate it as well, but the game has so many cool topics to discuss. Be looking forward to it instead of those 4 days and the 20. Are a lot of people covering this? I'll be honest with you, Christian. When I looked at all the Diablo coverage out there, it all looked like just fluff pieces about the trailer, which I kind of gave my own fluff piece at the beginning of today's live stream. In my show open, I talked about how much I liked the trailer. Card games often power creep the new cards. That makes it so you have to have the new cards. It's how they get people to buy. Oh. If anything, most of chat's leaning towards pay to win is a tragedy and falls under the pay to win umbrella, even when it isn't. But in Magic, you can't play for free. Anyone has to pay for the deck of cards. Well, right, but here's the thing. Pay to play that has pay to win on the other side, that's pretty common, is it not? Hey, pay to play. You got to pay money to come in and play this game. Okay. And then once you get in the game, well, now you got a whole rule set of, oh, well, these cards are better, or oh, these new cards are stronger, or oh, this guy bought this card set and he's beating the snot out of me. Pay to win is an integral part of gaming and benefits the entire community, a large production CEO says. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You got to pay money to play most games. Yeah, for sure. 5 buys to get in for everyone, but if I only spend 5 and you spend 100, you should be winning. Oh, for sure. And that's, I mean, I don't know how else you design a card game. Riker's done a decent breakdown of the new info we got last week. He's a known Diablo content creator. He specifically addressed this in a video devoted to just this topic. Really? See, I'm not up on Diablo content creators, so I'll be honest with you. I search it and I see what people are talking about, and then I usually try to find something else to say. And I didn't see a lot of people talking about this. When I searched for Diablo 4 pay to win, it was all the old videos from a couple of months ago. I was like, oh yeah, back when we got that blog post and back when everyone was comparing Diablo 4 to Diablo Immortal, yeah, 3 or 4 months ago, everybody was talking about this. So I thought, oh, this would be a good topic. I mean, I got into a debate with a guy about this the other day for about an hour, but it wasn't on the thumbnail, it wasn't in the description, and so I didn't have my argumentation, like, formulated out, you know what I mean? It's good you're discussing the topic, it's important. Pokemon cards kind of work the same way looter games do. There's a meta. When new sets release, single cards are expensive, either because they're super rare or valuable in the deck. He talked about it in his breakdown, and I guess people were confused or they took issue with his position, so he did a second video to clarify. What did he fundamentally land on? That it is or it isn't pay to win. If you guys are enjoying the show, we're about 30 minutes into the show. I haven't run a single ad yet. If you appreciate that kind of live content, do something to show appreciation. You can spam emotes, smash like, hit subscribe, or become a member or gift a member. The more often you watch, the more likely you'll get a gifted member. So make sure you're here as often as you can be if you want to get one of those gifted memberships. If I work full time and I don't have much time to play, does that mean everyone is at an advantage over me? Are they unpaid to win? Saying 4 days head start is game breaking is the same argument. Riker's Diablo lore series is great. Is there anything else included for the extra 20 or just the 4 days? Oh, you get like stuff. I mean, I can show you the official website, like all the stuff that you get. Diablo 4 pre-order today. Okay. So here's your 4 editions. So the standard edition is over here on the left. You get Anarius Wings and Anarius Murloc Pet in Diablo 3. Amalgam of Rage Mount in World of Warcraft. Umber Winged Darkness cosmetic set in Diablo Immortal. So they're giving you stuff in other games. Okay, cool. So the minute you bump up to the deluxe edition, you get up to 4 days of early access to the game. What just happened? What happened? I was comparing the editions. What is going on? Seasonal Battle Pass unlock in Diablo 4. Temptation Mount in Diablo 4. Hellborn, Carapace Mount armor in Diablo 4. And then over here, you get all of that. You get the 4 days of early access to the game. And then you also get accelerated seasonal battle pass unlock. It includes a premium season battle pass unlock plus 20 tier skips and a cosmetic. And then all the other stuff. So really, when you go up to Ultimate, it's more about fast tracking your battle pass more than anything. Right? So it's another $10. So Deluxe is 90, Ultimate's 100. So $10 gives you, an accelerated battle pass unlock, a premium season battle pass unlock plus 20 tier skips. He errs on the side that early access being pay to win, but the paid battle pass being cosmetics only he's fine with. The free battle pass contains XP boosts, but can only be purchased with in-game currency. Yeah, they address that in their blog post about this. You can't even spend money to get like level faster. You can't even do it. Like if you spend money to level up your battle pass quicker, you don't get the XP boost faster. You still have to earn them. Guys, we're on a 1 week streak, by the way. We introduced this last week, I think on Tuesday. If we don't hit it today, you're going to break our streak. Wheezy. How many days of not hitting it and I have to get rid of it? Because the ladder or the season won't fully start until everyone has access. So basically, the early access gets you the ability to learn the game and the story earlier. Hope so anyways. You'll be able to level. I mean, you know what I mean? You'll have 4 days of progress. Just because the ladders aren't unlocked. Flo Mobius says, thank you for whoever gifted me this membership. Today was Quintar and Craig. They were the two people that gifted. Now I'm confused. Which Archangel is in the trailer? I don't know. I don't know if they say, do they? Ultimate, you'll get around 22 cosmetic unlocks at the beginning. Drew Teller saying it's Inarius. A lot of people are saying it's Inarius. Inarius, the father of humanity. Yeah, everybody's spamming Inarius. Oh, the subtitles show it. Oh. He sounds like Tyrael, though. Yeah, but I think they all kind of have like a deep, rumbly voice. Like, it's kind of hard to tell. Kind of hard to tell. But apparently, if you turn on closed captions, it's Inarius. Hey, Lord Bacon the Destroyer. That's my man right there. One of my favorite names. Always gifting members and helping us hit stuff. That's a 5 bomb. It's going to help out some people get into the pack every day. We do a members only segment at lunch. You guys can take advantage of that. Daniel Finn, Austin Cardwell, Gerson, Lee Brown, and Zach. That takes us to 16. For those of you that don't know, every time we hit 25, I give 5 to the community and pay it back and pay it forward. So we appreciate you guys doing that. Are cosmetics character bound or account bound? They've not said, but what they did say was, WoW had said this in their breakdown, that the Paragon and skill points and stuff that you get really, really help you jumpstart alt characters. How do you reply to someone on chat on YouTube? You can hit the @ symbol or the pound symbol and then start typing their name, and then it should mention them so that they see you're trying to talk to them. Being able to specifically reply to somebody would be nice. I don't think we have that chat feature yet. It'd be nice if we get it. I like how he uses his wings to pull himself down to the ground. Like his sacred existence repels him from the unholy ground. Yeah. And he's so strong, like all the demons around him are like, they don't even try. They just kind of cower. Tyrael's dead because he became a mortal man in Diablo 3. This game takes place 50 years after Diablo 3. Also, the grave the man is standing over in the first Diablo 4 trailer is Tyrael's grave. Huh. You have to manually type the name on mobile? Oh, you do? That's kind of a bummer. We're really hoping to see some chat improvements going forward. We really are. Oh my gosh. Risic. You ordered some coffee over the weekend. I made sure it went out with the group that went out. This guy just dropped a frickin' 20 bomb. That takes us to 36. It's every 25, by the way. It's every 25. So he just gave you guys an extra 11. An extra 11 on the next one. Thank you, Risic. That is a freaking monster. That is a monster. Whenever we do the 20s, I have to suspend the alerts for just a second. It's like too many chingerings. Too many chingerings. Thank you so much. You guys that got those gifted. Zerika, Craig E, Infamous Genie, J-Ram, Penguins Owns, Leal Duck, Dominic Holly, Don, Kinsley, Vintage Rose, Joshua, Derek Green, Jason Liu, Soy2 Mangs, Patrick Meadows, I see you, dude. Steve, JZH Gaming, Toasted Notes, Nuka Face, and Zach Walton. I like seeing big member days when we cover Diablo because we plan on trying to do a lot with this game. So having a lot of community members in our Discord and being around is a big deal on a game like this. So we kind of like seeing a big member bump on a Diablo day. All right, I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word. Here comes my 5. That takes us to 41. Now, it's every 25. It's every 25. You can't include mine, by the way. Cannot include mine. So when that says 55, I'll do it again. Because that means we got another 25, right? Is that right? Yeah, because I bump us to 30. Yeah, 55. So he put you 14 away by doing a big one. Goonie Boy, Night Surfer, Ben Dejo, Corbin Loby, and Invisible Mail. You guys all got gifted a member. Make sure you get in our Discord. Make sure you get plugged in. We do members content all the time. It's extra content that you get as a member. You love to see it. Thanks, boss. Yeah. What does a membership? So anybody on YouTube can create content and designate it and say, I only want members to see this. So I do a lunch break in the middle of the day and I hang out with members and I do a segment. So today we did Mean Comment Monday. I went and looked at a bunch of mean comments and we kind of laugh. And then on Tuesdays we do New Trailer Tuesdays. We check out all the latest trailers. Thursdays we do Throwdown Thursday. I check out games and show them off to you. We checked out a really good indie title the other day. And you can even go back and watch the past broadcasts. Like if you're a member now, this last Friday, every Friday night I play games with my wife. My wife and I hung out and we played Among Us hide and seek with the community. So $5 a month gets you into all that stuff all month long. So it's, it's segments all week and all month. And it's $5 for the entire month. So when people are gifting, they're giving you a month to try, to see if you like it. Coral Reefer says, I don't see the harm in early access. Let's be honest. They make these games to make money. It isn't charity. If people are eager enough for their product and are willing to pay for the privilege, then so be it. I kind of take that attitude, Coral Reefer. I do. We're looking forward to seeing you at YouTube Power of the Shorts Workshop. That's tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Okay. 4 days, not 4 months. Yeah, no, and I get that, Coral Reefer, but I get why people push back. They're like, wait. If we're going to start letting companies charge money for this, is this a danger? Are we letting companies set a bad precedent where, spend an extra $20, spend an extra $30, and you get this, and you get this, and you get this, and you get this, and all these other peasants don't get those things. You know what I mean? I don't mind giving anybody who pre-orders early access. I don't. I think there's a sound principle there. They're already committing to your game. You already have their money. They have, at some level, they have a right to jump in early. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's not fair. I don't want to pay until the game comes out. Then pay when the game comes out and play when the game comes out. Huh? It's like, it's perfectly sound and reasonable to say, these people have already paid. we're going to let them in early. I think that's totally sound. The reason I kind of snag on it, I'm not calling it pay to win, but I'm like, it would just be logical and consistent if any pre-order got in early. But when you're like, well, you spend an extra 20 and you get in early. Okay. What else do I get for that 20? Well, a couple of cosmetics, right? Singling out the 70 is kind of dumb. That's what I'm saying. Yo, my man Tiny Toot. I'll turn the alerts on. I'll turn the alerts on for this one. That puts us at 51. I love having big member days on Diablo days. I love it. 809 Lion, Kicking with Timmy, Josh Aguirre, Welfare Rockstar, they're here all the time. Thank you. Point by Point, Trevolution, Stealth Gaming's here all the time. Anthony Milliken, Maxwell, and Dylan. That's 51. We're 4 away from me having to do it again. You guys are the best. I agree, Hilly. The early access seems awesome to get the hang of the game. If the early access gets on ladder or seasonal, that seems unfair. Otherwise, I'm in for the ultimate. I want to see what Hilly said. What did Hilly say? Let's be honest. I would take early access over digital art book. I'm with you, Hilly. I'm with you. Early access is a tangible award. You get in early. You get to play. Like I think that's a tangible reward. It's like, oh, cool. Like I got in early. I get to play. Like you actually get something for your money instead of like, oh yeah, you paid money before the game came out and you got some stupid trinket, cape that everyone's going to wear day one and then take off once they realize they look like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like that's I think that's a huge detractor for a lot of people. I thought it was any pre-order. That's actually dumb. I have to pay the extra 20. Here's the thing. Here's the catch, brain. Any pre-order gets early access to the open beta. Now that I realize that's not access to the open beta, that's early access to the open beta, I don't think it's a sign of... Now I see why Eugene was pushing back on what he was saying. He's like, why is that a sign of confidence? Like, the open beta is a sign of confidence. They're going to let people play this game and spend no money. You getting in 4 days early isn't really a sign of confidence. It's just like a nice pat on the back. Like, hey, yeah, you can jump in that beta a couple days early. But generally speaking, that's not much of a value point because everybody can play the dadgum beta. You get in 4 days early. Again, that's nice, but it's not really a value transmission since anybody can play the beta anyway. And there's only so much you can do in a beta, and more than likely your progress in the Diablo IV beta won't carry over. A bunch of people have been gifted members today. Let's see those emotes. Let's see some Lono Dope. Remind some people. We tried Vampire Survivors. I have not had a chance to try it, no. The cape is cool 3 years down the road. Yeah, maybe. Pre-orders give access to open beta. Deluxe and Ultimate are the ones that give early access. No. All three pre-orders get early access to the open beta. Everybody can play the open beta. That's why it's called an open beta. There you go. If you guys see those thumbs up in chat, it's a nice reminder to do a thumbs up on the vid. Thank you, everybody who has. You see what I'm saying? They're doing an open beta. That means anybody can play the game and try it out. If you pre-order, you get into that open beta early. They've not said how early. If you do the deluxe or the ultimate, you get in the game 4 days early. Does that make sense? I love that thumbs up. You guys know that's Deadpool's hand like cut off, right? That's what that is. That's what that is. I forgot we had Lono Pog. It's a Deadpool like shock face. I forgot we had Lono Pog. If you're a Diablo leaderboard guy and have been for years, then just buy it. If not, then don't. It really is that simple. At one level, I agree. At another level, I'm like, I don't know. 4 days on the store. The TNC says at least 2 days depending on server outages. Did you just say I was right? No, I understand now why you were pushing back on the confidence line. You were like, I don't know why that shows confidence. I was thinking that you had to pre-order to get into the beta, which to me, that's like confidence. It's like, yeah, we're going to let everybody who pre-orders get into the beta. I didn't realize it's like, well, no, everybody can play the beta. We're just letting you in early. Like, I originally read it, and in my brain, I internalized it as, oh, yeah, if you pre-order, you get into the beta. That's a pretty big sign of confidence, like, because you could play the beta, hate it, and cancel your pre-order. The reality is, anybody can play the beta. Now, I still think the beta is a sign that they're really confident in the product, because if the beta is a disaster, then you're not just going to have people canceling pre-orders. You're going to have people being like, I was going to pre-order, and now I'm not. So I think the beta is encouraging, but pre-ordering to get into the beta is not related to that point at all. When it comes down to it, if you're a huge Diablo fan, I've been playing since the original in Hellfire, so yeah, probably going to buy the Ultimate. Bring back Cain. Deckard Cain! Didn't one of the classes, like, yell at him when you freed him from the Butcher? So one of the classes was, you know, most people were like, Deckard Cain! Get out of here. But somebody was like, Deckard Cain! He like yelled at him. It was epic. I feel like it was the druid. Like, Deckard Cain! That's my memory of it, was that somebody yelled at him, you know? Like, stay a while. Listen, you don't have to scold me. I will go back to the town. Hey, somebody ordered some Frickmas as well as a mug. Thank you, Bacon the Destroyer, for gifting some members and ordering a mug. You the best. Thank you, sir. Coffee alerts broke. We don't have an alert set up. We haven't done that yet. I believe Creature and Demins were working on that. I'm not sure what the status of it is. Sadly, I think it's difficult to set that kind of a thing up. It's not as simple as you would think it would be. I get emails and thank people, but I wish I could have faith in Blizzard because Diablo 4 looks like a slam dunk, but I feel no excitement towards it at all. We've abandoned it for now. Okay. That's fine. I completely forgot about it, so I had completely forgotten about it. Why do we have to pre-order anymore anyways? 90% of sales are digital. I mean, pre-ordering is about getting commitment from the community. It's about projected sales. It's about anticipating server strain. It's about getting the game installed ahead of time. It's about, you know, there's a lot of I think really good reasons to pre-order, you know. I'm not saying that you should, but I think there's plenty of reasons that make sense as to why people do and why it's so popular. I pre-order for the bonuses. Pre-order also so you don't have to waste time installing the game when it comes out. Right, yeah. Pre-installing is a really, really nice perk and a nice benefit. Imagine pre-ordering a digital product with unlimited supply. Imagine thinking that's why people are pre-ordering. Nobody's pre-ordering for that reason. My deal with Best Buy is I can pre-order and still bring the game back if I don't like it. Buying 6 months in advance isn't the same as buying a few days before. My Frickmas blends out for delivery. Nice. We did 60 some orders we fulfilled on Saturday in our waffle. So how many bags did you order? I'm just curious what... We really had to jam some of the packages closed. Do you remember how many you ordered, Narwaffle? That's why companies want us to pre-order. Why should consumers do it aside from pre-downloads? Perks and benefits. You determine, you only ordered one. Okay. No, that's good. My wife was nervous because the shape of the bag is different when you order one Frickmas because it's not the same bag type. So I'll let her know that one of the first class ones made it. She was kind of nervous. You still have the Frickmas blend? It's right here, baby, in a brand new bag. I'm dreaming of a white Frickmas. Now, the Reforge logo doesn't look exactly right. Now, the printer's made a mistake, but that's to your benefit, okay? They're going to do right by us, and you get a limited edition bag that I sign. I'm signing these. I'm writing Merry Frickmas on them. I'm writing on them with the red marker. So you get a cool-looking, custom limited edition bag. We're calling it hashtag White Frickmas. Instead of White Christmas. So, get those orders in. That's my coffee, by the way. This is in my house. Like, this is what we're sending to you. This is the bag right here. Okay, this is not some sponsor. So you're supporting, me and my family. My wife and kiddos bag it up and ship it to you. So thanking everybody who orders. They're taking care of us, Robert. I'm going to be on a call today with Creature about what they're going to do. The pay-to-win debate is going to feel really silly if Diablo IV servers error 37 themselves for the first 4 days of early access. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Blizzard's probably got it under control. They're saying I'm going to have 4 copies of your signature. No, I signed it as Lono, so it's not like my legal signature. And if you order multiple bags, I just sign one. Awesome looking coffee bag. Going to order. Nice. Xmas sweater, by the way, is dope. Oh, you like my Punisher? Yeah, this is from 80s Tees. I don't like getting sponsor heavy, but you're pointing out my stuff. We are partnered with 80s Tees. You can always use my code over there, code LONO, for 30% off. Thank you to those of you that do that. They've got a great Christmas selection. I'm usually wearing a shirt from one of our sponsors, so anytime you're here, if you're like, oh, that's a dope shirt, you can use the shirt command in chat. Blizzard must be ready for that day. Pre-orders will be huge. Yeah, I don't think, if anything, let's call it what it is. The reason that they're doing 4 days of early access for the 2 top-tier purchases is so that they can ramp up servers. Like, let's really call that what that is. Here's one for your pay-to-win talk. Is it pay-to-win towards other players or any win condition? I actually think the term is legit against any win condition, like a leaderboard. Yeah, maybe. But we have to know what the win conditions are. We don't know if there are leaderboards in this game. When someone has hours upon hours of reviews, previews, gameplay, etc., and they buy 2 days in advance, is that pre-ordering? Yeah. I think there's 2 types of pre-ordering. I think there's hype pre-ordering and there's informed pre-ordering. I think there's 2 types, right? I think hype pre-ordering is the day they open pre-orders, right? The day they open pre-orders, you're in. You're pre-ordering. You can't wait to give them money. Just getting the email receipt is exciting for you. Then there's informed pre-ordering. And informed pre-ordering is like, there's nothing about this game that I don't know other than what happens. Like, I know so much. I've seen so much. I couldn't possibly be making a bad decision. Hey, 2 orders of coffee, a bag of Frickmas to Michael, thank you, and a bag of Frickmas to Zarika. Thank you. Brand new member as well there. Thank you to everybody who's gifted. 4 more gifteds or 4 more new members. It doesn't even have to be gifted. If you just become a member, it moves this goal. 4 more, and I have to gift again. Every time that hits 25, then 55, then what would it be after that? 85. Because I gift 5, so it goes up. So every time we hit those milestones, I have to gift 5. If you get the pre-order bonus, it counts as a pre-order. Blanket statements like pre-ordering is stupid need to be clarified. Yeah, because informed pre-ordering isn't stupid. Like, that's an informed consumer. That's somebody who knows what they're getting. They're well aware of the game and the quality and the pieces and the parts. You know, they're not in the dark. They're not like blindly pre-ordering. Does the win condition need to be in game? A community could set a win condition on an external web page, for instance. Yeah, the win condition needs to be in the game, Christian. I understand your question now. Thank you. The win condition needs to be in the game. If you're going to do some external thing as a community, that's not pay to win. That's you coming up with something. First person to get every cosmetic in the game. Okay, that's not something in the game. That's something that you could clearly pay to win. You know, find a game where you can earn or purchase cosmetics, and you prefer to earn them. Oh, they're having this competition, these guys on this website. Yeah, get all the cosmetics. Okay, that's a win condition that's external to the game. Hey, another order of coffee. My man Phil D did the triple threat. A bag of light, a bag of dark, and a bag of Frickmas. You save a little bit of money when you do our bundles. You do. We give you a little bit of a discount. It's not massive, but we do like to say thank you to those that bundle. We give you a little bit off. What's good, GC plugs? What's the issue with Diablo? The standard edition does not give you 4 days of early access to the game. Ultimate edition will provide you with 22 cosmetics for your characters. Yes. If the win condition needs to be in game, then paying for weapons in Diablo would not be pay to win, as there's no win condition for beating mobs. There's PvP, so that's a win condition that is in the game. Another journey into the wizarding world. On December the 14th, join Avalanche and Community Host for a second Hogwarts gameplay showcase. Dadgummit. Do we have a time? 1 p.m. Eastern. Okay. I'm going to slap that in our gaming room so I don't forget. That just booked that day. Isn't that the frickin' day of the raid? Yeah, I think COD just got bumped. I'd much rather cover Hogwarts. I don't know what we're going to do about that, dude. You need a raid key. You need this. You need that. Unless there's some FOMO events during those 4 days or something. We're like really hesitant to be like, hey, I'm really hesitant to be like, I'm going to do this in this game. I'm going to cover this thing in this game. It's like we keep doing that, and then games just don't give us what we want. Harry Potter pulls numbers. I really want to show off the raid because we told everybody we were going to show at the raid, but like the more I hear about everything I need to do to get in, I'm like, that sounds like it's going to be an absolute disaster. It can't be as bad as Marvel Snap selling boosters for 90 pounds. Boosters? What are you boosting in that game? I don't want to hide the Mjolnir back there. God fell off a cliff anyway. My reaction video today, we end every day once we're done with our live streams. I send you guys all to a reaction video. I have a reaction video about the player base falling off. I was glad to have finally finished Cyberpunk back in August 2022. Oh, you guys are talking about something completely different. Should we talk about how the Diablo IV Collector's Edition box doesn't include the game? Yeah, neither did God of War. Make sure I'm not showing you my code. Yeah, here's my God of War case. Look at that. That's high quality right there. Just shipped my coffee, got notification for it. Nice. It does not have a game code. I mean, mine does. Wait, so what's coming with the Diablo 4 thing then? What, do they email you the code? Horizon Forbidden West didn't either. That's because they don't know when people had digital PS5s or physical. Nothing for the game. Wait, I'm confused. What are we talking about right now? The Diablo 4 Collector's Edition's box. So what are you buying? You're buying a collector's you're buying a piece of merchandise then. Why in the world would you call it a collector's edition? An edition of what? Okay, they're calling it a collector's box. No, that's properly named. Yeah, they're not calling it a collector's edition. They're calling it a collector's box. It's a bunch of stuff. They should just call it a loot box. Diablo 4 collector's loot box. Like, it's just a bunch of loot, basically. Yeah. That's fine. You're buying merch. You know, I think the fact that they're calling it, the word collectors carries weight with it, because a lot of games do collector's editions, and collector's editions are typically coming with the game. I no longer have space for that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't have anywhere to put it. I got Lego sets that I'm building that I don't have anywhere to put for our Lego channel. Like, I've nowhere to put any of it. I'm already running out of space. I'm going to have to put all the sets in storage. Even if I get a couple of shelves back there, right there, even if I get a couple of shelves, no way. Oh yeah, that'd be terrible marketing. Call it a loot box. Diablo 4 selling loot boxes. No, they could have turned that. They could have turned that into good marketing for themselves. This is the only kind of loot box we'll be selling, you know. That might actually be really, really great PR. Diablo 4 selling loot boxes. You know, everybody's like, what? In this day and age, though, people would just see the headline and be like, I don't know, man. I heard they're selling loot boxes. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, in this day and age of headline hunting, people would be like, I don't know about Diablo 4, bro. Why? I saw a couple headlines, man. Said they're selling loot boxes. That was a joke, bro. It was a joke. We've been streaming over an hour, guys. Thanks so much for the huge turnout and the great debate and the back and forth. If you're just tuning in, I was talking about Diablo 4 pay to win with early access. I argued against it. I don't believe it's pay to win. If you've enjoyed the last hour of uninterrupted live streaming without any ads or me clicking a button that runs advertisements, hit the like button. Maybe hit subscribe and join in the conversation. We need 4 more members, and I have to gift members every 25, and I got to give back to the community. Thank you to everybody who's already done that, who's already gifted and already went crazy. Yo, Steven Martin hit 15 months, and it's a VIP. There's only so much loot in a members-only chat. That's right. That's correct. That is correct. No, why? What's going on? Yeah. Yeah. How's your day going? That's great. My wife's trying to do something with is it with Target? Is it with Target? And she says no discount is worth this conversation. Like the person chatting, just give her support is like chatting her up. Like, what are you doing today? I got 2 surprises last night. I'm gonna be a mother. So they're doing that and they're watching my stream? What on earth? We don't live in a simulation. I had the Battlefield Edition Xbox. It was olive drab color. That's what I expect for a collector's piece. Embedded advert will start in 10 seconds. Press like to disable. I might start doing that. Hit the goal or I'm running ads. Give me 200 likes or I'm hitting ads and walking away and stretching. Give me 20 more likes or I'm hitting the ad button. Just start holding the stream hostage. You're like, sorry guys, I gotta run ads. People are like, he never gets to talk. He's just always running ads. I want Diablo 4 to come over and kick my wife out. That's mean. Play with her. I'm looking forward to Diablo 4. I'm looking forward to playing with my wife. Yes, that's what I was trying to say, babe. Selling a house, I swear, is worse than buying between meetings with work and the realtor and the lawyer calling. Oh, gosh, yeah. No thanks. I'm going to live and die in this house. I'll live and die in this house, baby. I ain't going through none of that crap. Heck no. All right, chat. You dying on me. You died on me. Where'd everybody go? I need to know what class you're going to pick in Diablo 4. I want to know what class you're picking and why. I'll go first because I was thrilled they were bringing the Druid back. The Druid was my favorite in Diablo 2. Diablo 3, I was like Paladin, and then I was big on like the Witch Doctor, and then I was really, really excited when they brought Necro. He was kind of OP. Rogue for sure. Is the Rogue supposed to be kind of like a Demon Hunter? Oh yeah, you'll never collect them with me ever again. Not after this. The Rogue is an adaptable, agile warrior who can specialize in ranged or close quarters combat. She can best any foe with her imbued weapons, perform powerful combo attacks, and can augment her arsenal with deadly poisons and shadow magic to slay demons with impunity. Sorceress. Are you a person that clicks like? Or are you a person that pushes old ladies into oncoming traffic? It's one or the other. That's right. What's Diablo 4? Can you restart the stream and tell me? I feel like I need to tell chat where the like button is. Sorceress hubby will probably pick Druid. Oh, you're going to be a sorceress. Your hubby's going to be Druid. You'll probably be the rogue or the sorcerer. Because I think my wife usually likes the demon hunter for the range attacks. It comes out summer of next year. Because they just did a big trailer push. They've shown tons of gameplay. This trailer was a cinematic. Yeah, they've already shown tons of gameplay. Druid all the way. Necro, Druid is monk, one as well. Those old ladies had a good run. That's right. No idea. I've never played Diablo, but not sure yet. See you tomorrow for Armored Core. What, did they drop a bunch of info about Armored Core? Did they really? Yeah, there's no monk. There's no monk in Diablo 4. Yeah. Well. Oh, the interview's chunky? Okay. Hilly says the sorcerer is a high-risk, high-reward class focused on strong elemental magic at the cost of being a delicate character. Oh, then my wife won't want to be that at all. Yeah, she'll probably end up being a rogue. If the rogue... Does the rogue... I feel like the rogue has like Demon Hunter vibes. Right? I feel like it. Can't remember. Show me... Did they not show gameplay when you click on one of these? Oh, they show it at the very, very end of the video. It'll not be like a Soulsborne. Glass Cannon, I think Rogue will be Madam. Yeah, she always liked Demon Hunter because she would like spam the crossbow and do all that. Like, yeah, it looks like she's got some range with her bow. Some of the stuff's fast. Yeah, Rogue's kind of fast moving and aggressive though. Yeah. I wonder if she'll just end up picking a druid as well, so she can kind of sit back. It looks like the druid has some good range sit back. But it also looks like the druid has to kind of like, I'm sorry, the rogue has to like get up in the mix. You know what I mean? It looks like the rogue can also kind of like disappear to avoid detection. And the Diablo website just runs super, super poor. Like the Diablo 4 website, it just runs super, super poor. It's like hard to do anything on their website. It's like slow and clunky, and I'm playing the embedded video that they had, and it's just like, what the heck? They said you can build them for full range or melee if you want. Maybe the Necro. Cunning summoners who conjure vengeful hordes of the undead. I feel like the Necro is one where she could sit back. You know what I mean? Just spawn an army. I'll just be the druid. Werewolf, bear, commands the power of earth, wind, and storm, unleashes nature. That's right. That's what I want to do. I remember I was always trying to do a summoning build with the druid in the first game, and it was like, it just never worked that particularly well. It was like, I don't know. I looked up a fissure build, and it was super, super good. It was really, really strong. I remember that changed my entire way of playing Diablo 2. And I was not a guy who went and like looked for build guides, you know? I just remember being like, I love the druid, but I just don't ever feel like, you know, I didn't feel like summoning. I didn't know how to build him around summoning very well, you know? So, pay $20 and you'll get early access to their working website. Yeah, if I pre-order their Ultimate Edition, the website will work better. That's right. Okay. I said no Crusader on launch. Guess they're going to be added. Oh, you were sad. You were sad no Crusader on launch. Guess they're going to be added later. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what their goal is. You know, I don't know what their goal is long term for adding classes, but there's no way they're not adding classes, you know. Might not be first season, might be, you know, they might make you wait a little bit. Maybe we go until my man's gifted at the top falls off to give people an opportunity to jump on. Maybe not. I'm trying to see if we can't breathe some life into the conversation. I thought this debate was going to last a lot longer. Sadly, the core audience was here for the debate the other day, and all the fight, like, there's no fighting anybody. You know what I mean? I wanted to have a formed, written up argument about it, you know. That guy's not here, the one that debated me either. It helps when you have somebody who's like willing to be like, yo bro, this is pay to win, this is sus. They're gonna add them as part of the seasons. Have they said how many they know they're gonna add? There it is, my man YouTube Lurker, my man. This guy is a champ. He's a champ. He really, truly is a champion. You know, good to see you back on the board with some gifteds, YouTube Lurker. Randall Marler, Smokin', Soliloquy, Chipper, Prog Rocks. That's everybody there. Thank you guys so much for being here. Y'all just got them. That means I got to gift 5. That's another 25. Thanks to Mr. YouTube Lurker. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you very much. We I don't know, that might have pushed us to 1,300 for the day. I'm not sure. I think we finally got back to 1,200. That might push us to 13. Slowly getting back. I want to see that 2,000 again. That is our goal. That's our goal, and you can help with it if you want. You don't have to gift. You can just become a member. There's my 5. All of them over time, why wouldn't they? They said that they will charge for seasons and expansions. Diablo 3 DLC was Necro, seems logical. Notions, Gasparito, Yang Lo, The Bean, and / you guys all got a gifted member from me. Thank you for being here. That means you can watch both upcoming members-only segments or go back and watch the old segments. My wife and I play games on Friday nights, and then every day we do a member segment when I take my lunch break. So welcome on in. Thank you for being here. Be sure to use the Discord to connect with the community and take advantage of all of your perks as a member. Watch out for those previews. I give you guys a sneak peek at the next day. I give you a little sneak peek at the next day. So, should more companies charge for early access? I don't know if I would say more companies should do it, but I feel like if you're going to do live service, it is good to do some type of an early access so you can ramp up servers. What I think would be good if the content needed to be completed to unlock the next class added. There was a guy who did an interview. I watched his video this morning, and they said that for seasons, they want the game to feel brand new. There was an interview this guy got to do with some of the guys in charge, and they said that their goal with seasons is they want the game to feel like brand new, like you're jumping into a brand new experience. It's fresh, everything feels good. So they want seasons to be pretty impactful. They don't want seasons just to be like a chintzy, oh yeah, we got some new cosmetics. Yeah, it was with Rob Ferguson and the other guy. Yeah. I'll be waiting until season 2 to jump in. I want to see everything pan out before I dive in. I get that. I'm being a little bit more like, hey, let's hit the member stuff whenever we're doing Diablo streams, because I really feel like we want to get people in the fold, get them in the Discord, and get folks involved. So like between now and June, anytime we talk about Diablo, I want to see some folks get exposed to what we do here. Like, we got a great community. Everybody's super positive. Our Discord's awesome. Our Discord's already set up and well organized so that if we start getting invested in a game, it's a great place to connect with people and play games. There are people in there right now that are connecting and playing like DMZ and stuff together for sure. What do you think of the color palette in Diablo 4? Some of the creators got the hands-on were saying it's too gray and difficult to see your character in interior environments, too much smoke and fog. I mean, I've not seen anything that didn't look like a typical, dark, dusty dungeon crawler. You're down under the earth. It's smoky. It's foggy. It's gross. It's, I don't know. I could get some people exposed, but it has nothing to do with Diablo. What are you talking about? If it's pay to win, exactly, it's pay to stream. I feel like some of these packages are aimed at content creators like you. Spend $100 and you can jump the YouTube hot content line. Normies aren't as affected. I don't necessarily know, though, about that. I feel like the hardcore audience grabs and scoops those things up. I do. I feel like they scoop them up. They're like, let's do it. Let's jump in as early as possible. Let's get all the things. If you're playing Diablo with the boys and you're excited to finally have another Diablo to jump back in, I don't think you necessarily need to be a YouTuber to feel that pull of, hey, let's get in there, man. That's Diablo, baby. I don't know. I think it's hard sometimes as a content creator to remember what it's like to not have to buy games moment one. You know what I'm saying? To like not have to do things immediately. You know? I don't really remember what that's like. It's been such a long time since I have been in this environment. You know, what, 9 years ago, maybe? And even back then, I was always wanting everything as soon as I could possibly get my hands on it. We'd be making and experimenting with builds. I'm not really that guy. What I typically do is I dive into the content loop. I'll max out a character. I'll grind the stuff. I'll grind the battle passes. I'll grind the dungeons. I'll examine the loot generosity. I'll examine the content loop. I'll examine the seasonal model. I'll examine player incentivization. What I'll typically do is we'll spend those first couple of weeks just kind of hacking the game apart. And then as the dust settles, if I feel like there's support for it, there'll be a weekly, bi-weekly, like twice a week show, once a week show, where we take a system in the game and say, here's how they could make this better, or here's why this is good, bad, and the third. You know, here's the good and the bad and what they need to improve with the battle pass. Here's the good and the bad and what they need to improve with dungeons. Like, that's kind of my thing. You're never going to come to my stream and have me be like, all right, guys, I put together a killer druid build for you. Like, that's just not what I do. I'm much more zoomed out on the systemic health of a game than like how to make a strong build or how to quickly farm something. I just don't do that. It's just not my vibe. Not my vibe, and never really has been. So, generally speaking, that's driven by my interest, right? Any achievement objectives? Not really. I'm interested in the systems, like how's the Diablo IV loot chase? How do the dungeons work? Are they using randomly generated technology pieces? How are they going to incentivize and build seasons? How are seasons going to last? How are seasons going to honor what you've been grinding for? You spent all this time building something, and now you've got new things to chase. Those, generally speaking, are the things that that I pay attention to and break down and examine. That's what I like to do. That's just how my mind works. I get extremely bored if I'm like breaking down, you know, frickin' like loot systems and, you know, other things. That just isn't really where my brain. I'm sorry, my brain shuts off if I'm breaking down like builds, like min-maxing and this and that and the third. I'd rather be like, okay, what's a good build for this guy? Is like, you know, I know how to make a good build. And a lot of the times I'll experiment with really good builds. But generally speaking, that's not how I approach games. Because I think it's fun when you discover a good build. I think it's fun when you... what the heck are they doing with this? Is that the right one? I think it's really, really fun when you discover a really good build. Or you come up with your own or something. Or maybe you have a build that you're enjoying and like you get a really good piece for it. But usually that's not what I focus my attention on. So I also sometimes will discover like, oh, I really want this piece or this thing, and I'll run an activity over and over and over and over and over again until I get it. It's kind of how I like to do it. So any other famous games comparable to Diablo? Yeah, Borderlands is basically Diablo with guns. So, all right, guys, once a stream falls off the rails and we're not doing what I want to do, or, you know, conversation, vibe, momentum, and all that slows, I don't force it. These second shows are shorter sometimes because we just can't catch what that morning show catches sometimes. Second shows are a little shorter sometimes, but that doesn't mean that we're done. I have a great video about Call of Duty's player base dropping. I'm going to redirect you over there. If you'd rather click the link, do that. It will say the video's premiering in like 3 hours. That's not true. I'll push it live once you guys all get over there. If you're a member or a brand new member, connect in the Discord. Make sure you check out the past broadcasts of members' content like Friday Nights with My Wife or the segments that we do every day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Click the link in chat or ride the redirect for my video about the player base numbers in Call of Duty dropping.